Hello, hi all. Good morning, good evening. So my name is Reddy. So I am your trainer for EWM course. So a very warm welcome for the EWM training session. Today we are going to start the first class in EWM. So that is the introduction part. Let me introduce about myself. As I already mentioned, my name is Reddy. So I have 15 plus years of experience in SAP. So my qualification is MTech in production planning and control. So we are going to start the introductory session in SAP EWM. So before starting any SAP course, first let us try to understand what is ERP. Why? Because EWM is also part of ERP. So let us see what is this ERP. So ERP basically represents enterprise resource planning. So three separate words combined together for a purpose. So in this you can see enterprise separately, resource separately, and planning separately. So every word has its own importance in this complete enterprise resource planning. First let us start with enterprise. Enterprise means it's an organization, any business which can be run by a single person or a group of people, and this business will be finally named as a company if at all this business is a legal business and if it follows all the rules and regulations of any country's government. So this enterprise organization or entrepreneurship organization will be named as a company or a company code. So this company will be basically subdivided into maximum 16 user departments. So with the help of these 16 user departments, any company can create a product or create a service, and they can sell that to the final customer. Now let us see what is resource. So every company, every user department in a company will have resources, and these resources are related to some business activity, and these business activities are related with some resources. So what are the resources that are related with any business activity? If you see, these resources are material, manpower, machines, money. So these are different type of resources, and every user department in any ERP company will have resources. So the main intention of using this ERP software, SAP, is to optimize the resource in any user department. So how can we optimize? So the first step in this optimization is planning. So you can see here planning of all resources can be done via ERP. So the main intention of any ERP company will be to utilize or to optimize the resources. So or to achieve 100% results. So any ERP company can be subdivided into two parts. One is product based, one is service based. So under product based, so what and all can be categorized if we see. So under product based, we can see laptops, mobile phones, bikes, cars, all these are physical products which can be purchased by any customer and used in real time. So those physical product based companies are these are mentioned below. So here you can see service based or service sector companies. In this, they will not sell any physical product, but they will do some service and take the money from the customers as a profit. So, so these service based companies are like telecom, insurance, banking, railways, any transportation, all these things comes under your service based sector. So here, this is all about the ERP. So any ERP will be mainly focusing on utilization of the resources in any of the department in a ERP company. So as I mentioned here, there are 16 user departments. Now let us see what are those 16 user departments. So in the next slide, we are going to see the 16 user departments which any ERP company can have. And these are the maximum number of departments which can be used in any ERP company. But some companies can use only 5 user departments, some companies maybe 7, some maybe 10. So based on the requirement, the number of departments can be restricted or confined to a certain number based on the business requirements. So if a particular company is trying to do both products and service business, then yeah, then maybe they need all the 16 user departments. So let us go through one by one user department here. You can see purchasing. So for purchasing, we have a module in SAP called SAP MM. So for sales, we have a module in SAP called SAP SD. So finance, FICO. So for production, PP. For inventory, IM. For warehouse, we have SAP EWM. So this is the main course which you are going to study as part of this presentation. So we have QM, planning, transportation, human resource, plant maintenance, project systems, supply chain, logistics execution, controlling, asset management. So these are the different user departments which any ERP company can use. And here if you see on top of this basic user departments, there are also certain additional user departments or extension to the basic user departments. For MM, we can see SRM, supplier relation management, and you can also see VIM, vendor invoice management. These are the additional modules or the extension to the basic modules. And for SD, you can see the additional module will be CRM, that is customer relations management. So like for every department, there is a module in SAP. So we are going to focus mainly on warehouse. So for warehouse, we have a module called SAP EWM. So here, broadly classifying the modules in SAP, we also have two broad classifications of modules here. One is the functional modules and the second one is the technical modules. So what does functional module do? So functional modules mainly work on managing and optimizing client specific business processes and fulfilling those processes with SAP solutions. That is mainly for your functional. So like all the modules whichever I have mentioned here, all the 16 modules comes under your functional. So like SAP MM, SD, FICO, PP. So like PP, just a minute. So let me make a small change here, please. Like your PP module. PP is for production planning, APO advanced planning and optimization, IM inventory management, EWM extended warehouse management, TM transportation, QM, IBP, HCM, human capital management. All these are your functional modules. Now coming back to the technical modules. So what comes under these technical modules? So these technical modules are like a backbone to the SAP, or these are foundation or support to the SAP systems. Or what are the SAP systems? If you ask me, those are the functional modules. So these technical modules provide the backend support, or the complete functional modules works on the technical modules. So the technical modules are like SAP ABAP, Basis, Security, and Fiori. So this is the front end, the user application, the front end UI, the user interface, and Solomon, BW, NetWeaver. All these things are your technical modules. Now, what kind of software versions we are going to use as part of our training? If you see, so we are going to use SAP S/4HANA embedded EWM with 2309 version of server for practice purpose, and the HANA will be and database will be the HANA database, and we are also going to use Fiori applications, which is UI2, that is user interface 2. So we are also going to touch base with some of the topics in SAP EWM, that is decentralized warehouse. So this is a older version. So we have 9.1, 9.0, 9.5. So these are the older versions of decentralized system. So we are going to touch base with those also. But however, the main focus for us is going to be the embedded EWM version. So the latest version which is available is 2309. So this is what we are going to use for all our practice sessions. Now let us go with the next slide. So the next slide is the introduction about what is this warehouse and what is the warehouse stocks and what is the difference between the inventory stock and the warehouse stock. So first let us try to understand what is inventory and what is warehouse. So here in introduction we are going to see and understand that warehouse is a temporary storage location. So whenever any product based companies, whenever they are manufacturing any goods, so their demand, maybe they may achieve this demand maybe in next 2 months or 3 months. So until the demand arises for a particular product, so they are going to manufacture this in advance and keep it in the warehouse for a certain period of time, maybe the buffer time until the demand arises for a particular product. And once the demand arises, they are going to supply these products to the either to the 3PLs or to customers or to the distribution centers, to whomever it is. Now until that particular period of time, until the demand arises, so they are going to manufacture and keep the products in the warehouse. So immediately, for example, a demand arises. So most of the companies, they may not manufacture. So what they try to do, based on certain demand forecastings, they are going to manufacture the products and they are going to keep it in the stock. So this is for the finished goods. In the same way for the raw materials also, so they may buy it from the vendors and stack or store in the warehouse for their production needs. So whatever it may be, whether it is raw material or finished goods, so warehouse is a temporary storage space where it is stored in a particular ERP company for a certain period of time, like a buffer period of time, until the necessity or the need comes for a particular product or a material. So this will be stored in the warehouse. Once the need comes, yeah, they are going to pick it up from the warehouse and consume the material. And whenever we speak about this warehouse, so it is a dollar value for any ERP company. So why it is a dollar value, if you ask me? So any ERP company has to provide a storekeeper, has to provide electricity connections, has to do all the infrastructure of the warehouse, and they have to add the forklift or any other handling equipment to process or to pick up or to drop any materials into the warehouse, like picking, put away, internal warehouse activities, all these activities, including certain resources in the warehouse. So all these things are chargeable to the ERP company. So every square feet of the warehouse is a dollar value, and optimal utilization of this warehouse space is very, very important. But whenever we come to inventory stocks, so here what happens, it's a messy kind of storage. You can see the picture in the left hand side where it is mainly a messy kind of storage space. And this messy kind of storage space is not properly organized or set up in such a way so that it may take time to identify a particular product which is available in the warehouse. So if you see the stock reports like MMBE or MB52 or MB51 or any other inventory reports, in the inventory reports you may see that the stock is available in the warehouse, but these reports will not tell us which exact location or what is the geographical location where the stock is available may not be identified in the inventory stock. So for any put away or any picking of goods or any internal movement of the goods or like rearrangement, slotting or anything, so the exact geographical location or the coordinates of a particular material may not be available in the inventory stock. But however, in warehouse management, all these coordinates, geographical locations, all these things are available in EWM stocks. Now, Now, so let us go through this text which is written here. Managing ERP company stock at storage bin level or quant level, but not at inventory level. So whenever you are trying to learn SAP EWM, so how we are going to manage all these stocks is at storage, either at storage bin level. The same we can say it as a quant level. Quant level is the lowest uh, level where we can track the goods or the products of the materials in EWM, but not at inventory level. So we are not going to talk any inventory here, but only at the stock management at the bin level, and the quant level is called your warehouse management of different stocks. Now, what is the difference between the inventory stock in S4 and the EWM? So if you see, so the inventory stock in S4 specifies overall stock availability in the storage location, but it will not tell any geographical or the coordinates of the material where it is available. So that is the main disadvantage of the inventory stocks. Now, when we come into EWM, so the stock will be arranged in a proper sequence or appropriate method. So such as like aisle, stock and level in storage location, or the bins which is assigned to these aisle stacks where the coordinates of the stocks are available, and any goods movement will be very fast. So the picking activity and the put away or any other activity will be fast because we can directly pinpoint the goods where it is available in the warehouse, and we can do all the activities very fastly. So which reduces the search time either for your put away or for picking. Now let us see some of the advantages of inventory stock over the warehouse stock. So like these are the advantages. This is an organized way of storage is enabled, ease of put away or fast picking or fast put away or internal activities are possible in these EWM stocks. Search time is reduced to identify the available storage space, or monitoring or access to the users is very easy. Any goods movements are processed very quickly The maximum utilization of warehouse storage space is possible in EWM managed warehouses. So stocks are visible in very detailed level, both physically and in system level at the bin or in system at the bin level. So effective and real-time supply chain is possible in EWM managed stocks. So these are the certain advantages. Now let us go ahead with the next slide. So here we can see what is warehouse management. So this is another extension of the introduction, whatever we have seen here. So you can see, as I already mentioned in the previous slide, it is a dollar value to store any material or product, which will basically incur some additional cost to a particular material while storing any product in the warehouse. So managing warehouse operations. So we are going to see the introduction is finished here. So we are going to see what kind of operations we can manage here. So in EWM, majorly the warehouse operations are like receiving the goods and shipping them out are the major operations. So for receiving and shipping, we call it as either put away or pick logics or pick logistics. Now storage of goods and provide visibility and control over the inventory and storage unit management. So these are the operational things which we are going to see as part of your course. So here you can see help business improve helps business to improve their efficiency, reduce storage costs and enhance order fulfillments. So these are further operational things which we are going to see as part of your EWM course. Visibility over inventory management, labor management, reporting and analytics. And you can also use certain pack materials like cages, carts, cartons, pallets, like different pack materials can be used in this EWM. So increased efficiency and accuracy, enhanced visibility, scalability, tracking and communication of the available stock or the inventory will be very easy in your warehouse management. So now specifically I'm drilling down to different type of activities in EWM. So majorly there are three kind of activities in EWM. One is inbound activity, second one is internal activity, the final one is outbound activities. So when we come to your inbound activities, these are like unloading, goods receipt, if required any QM integration or quality inspection checks. Yes, we can do quality inspection checks. The next will be the put away. If required any deconsolidation, repacking, cross docking, all these things are possible in your inbound space. And second one will be your internal activities. So these internal activities are your activities which basically happens within the warehouse. So here inbound internal activities will be like your physical inventory, replenishment, posting change, kitting, dekitting, slotting and rearrangements. So these are the internal activities which basically takes place within the warehouse. And if you see warehouse outbound activities, so these are like the activities which are going away from the warehouse, like whenever we remove the stock from the warehouse, how the outbound activities can be carried out, that I'm going to explain here. So in this you can see picking, packing, staging, loading, goods issue, wave and yard management, dock appointment scheduling and VAS, value added services. So these are the predominant activities which can be carried out in your outbound space. Now we are also going to see the integration with other non-SAP systems. So please understand, like SAP, whenever you are managing the stocks or inventory in your warehouse management, SAP warehouse management, so you may have a necessity to integrate with non-SAP systems also, like 3PLs or non-SAP warehouses. So how to facilitate those communications between SAP systems and non-SAP systems. That also we are just going to have a nutshell of your introductions or some parts of your deep dives about your non-SAP systems. So here you can see to facilitate data communication with a wider range of systems of non-SAP, such as your cloud-based systems or 3PL networks. So that we are going to see. So how can we communicate? So what are the standard procedures which SAP has provided us? So these communications we are going to do via using various methods like IDOCS, RFC, and middleware solutions, which basically uses a XML file or a CXML file, like Boomi, extra integration or BTP. So these are certain communication methods which are available. And we are also going to see the mainly IDOCS. Why? Because IDOCS are going to be the common platform to communicate or to do any data exchange between SAP and other non-SAP systems. So what kind of iDocs are available in SAP EWM? If you see, we have Toco, Cato, we have Sumo. So these are the main iDocs like transfer order confirmation, like HU confirmation. So these kind of iDocs we are going to see as part of your integrations. And we are also going to see EWM MFS integrations. So first let us try to understand what is MFS. So MFS is material flow system. So this mainly used for your completely automated warehouses. So if you see warehouse basically is of three types. One is manual warehouses. Second one is semi-automatic warehouse and fully automatic warehouse. So if you want to either semi-automate the warehouse or fully automate the warehouse, we are going to use MFS systems where the picking, material retrieval, or any internal activities can be done automatically via your MFS, that is via your resources or machineries. So this we are going to see here as part of your syllabus. So here we are going to enable communications and control uh, the automated material handling systems, facilitates integration with KNAP or EAT or gray orange subsystems to EWM. So we basically don't have this communication or KNAP system or EAT or gray orange systems, but theoretically I can explain how this integration happens between the non-SAP MFS to MFS. So these connections will basically happen via PLC, programmable logically controlled units, or emulators, or also possible via iDocs. So to perform activities like picking, packing, put away, all these things we can do via your MFS. So this is mainly for your LOSC process. So when we are trying to learn that LOSC process, we will also see how to automate these uh, communications and how to send a warehouse task or a warehouse order to a subsystem. So that subsystem will be the non-SAP system where you automatically create some communication with the subsystem tasks. So in SAP itself, we have MFS. So that also can be leveraged here. So most of the people or the ERP companies uses non-SAP system, but however, some companies are also using SAP MFS. So that is the understanding which we should have. So MFS options are available for fully automatic or semi-automatic based warehouses based on the ERP company requirement. So these all about your a slight or a enhanced introduction about the warehouses. Now here the next topic will be our syllabus. So which are the syllabus points that we are going to cover? So in this we are going to mainly cover introduction, S4HANA org structure and EWM integration part. Next the delivery document integration. Next the EWM org structure. Then later we are going to see the master data. Then we are also going to understand warehouse stock management, warehouse document types, integration from S4HANA to EWM, inbound processing, then later outbound processing, then your internal warehouse movements, then multi-step or intermediate step warehouse movements. Then we are also going to see the process oriented storage control, then the layout oriented storage control. Then later we are going to learn physical inventory. Then we are going to see the warehouse cockpit or the warehouse monitoring and reporting functionalities. So then the exception code handlings, then the cross docking. Then later we are going to see yard management, value added services, kitting, resource management, RF framework. So in this, we are also going to see the ITS connection devices and the Fiori applications also instead of RF for any radio frequency related. And most of the transactions, whatever we are going to do, we are going to do both in your GUI as well as in your Fiori applications. So what is GUI, what is Fiori applications, that you will understand at a later point of time. So next we are going to see the post-processing framework, that is a PPF, and we are also going to see what is this form printings. So how to maintain the condition record, how to maintain or link the printers. So all these things we are going to see as part of your course. Then we are going to see the EWM integration with non-SAP ERP systems. And finally, we are going to see the data migration or the initial data upload. So these are the topics which we are going to cover as part of your syllabus. So the next one will be the EWM process flow. So as I mentioned here, so you can see here, there are inbound activities, internal activities and outbound activities. So here to give a pictorial representation of all these activities. Here you can see. So here you can see inbound activities. So here we have docking stations where the truck or the container will come and dock here to the door. And once it is docked, we are going to do the unloading and the GR activities here. So this zone, whatever you can see, these are the staging areas, or you can say the GR areas, GR staging areas. So once you do the GR, so the material will come into this warehouse. Then later you can do this yellow line. These are the internal activities. So either you can do a direct put away, or you can do some internal activities here before you do the final put away, like your deconsolidation, labeling, and so many other activities like QM, quality inspection, something. So once you do the final put away, as I already mentioned, so the storage area, this is the storage area space where you are going to store the products for a certain period of time, like a buffer period until the demand arises for the product. So after the demand arises for the product, you are going to do the outbound. So in this outbound, what we are going to do, we are going to ship the material to either within the ERP company or like directly to the final customer or to anyone. So you can see the packing areas here. So packing areas, you can do certain packing activity, and you can see the final shipping area. So these are the shipping final GI staging areas where you use this GI staging area to load into the trucks or vehicles. And these are the outbound going vehicles. And here also there is another key diagram. So it's very elaborated here. So here you can see certain conveyor belts which are working here. And you can see these are the vehicles docked here. Maybe let us assume these two are like inbound and this is for outbound. So here you can see certain staging areas where the material is initially staged here. Then once it is staged, all the activities are done. You can see the storage racks here. So these have aisle, stack and height. So where you can store this in this warehouse. These are final warehouse, final put away. Or you can also see certain processing areas here, like where your production process can happen. You can see certain conveyor systems or certain production activity areas. So this production activity area can convert within your organization, can convert the raw material into finished goods. Once the finished goods is finished, like it can come back to this production staging areas or the final inbound areas for the finished goods. And once you do the quality, then you can load this into the trucks. So this is a certain pictorial representation of the warehouse activities to make more insights or to get more visibility of like what happens within the warehouse. Now here you can see like what are the modules or the integrations involved with EWM. So whenever you are working with EWM, so you should also know certain other modules. And also whenever you are trying to learn EWM, there are certain prerequisites. So for example, if you want to learn EWM, so at least you should know MM module or QM module or TM module or any 3PL activities. And this is mainly for your inbound. So if you want to work in inbound, at least if you should know some of the activities, what will happen in MM, QM, TM and 3PL. Also, if you want to work in internal, so internal activities of warehouse, you should be aware of the QM and PP activities. So if you want to work in the outbound space, like SD module, LE, TM and QM will again play a role in the outbound. So these modules are the prerequisites, you can say, or the integration involved with your EWM module. So some students or some learners who are interested to learn EWM, they may not have these prerequisites or the integration modules which are involved. So those kind of learners or the students must focus mainly not only on EWM, they also should focus on other modules as well. So to understand EWM in a thorough manner. So here we can see those are the prerequisites which are mentioned here like MMSD, LE, QM, TM and PP. So these are the prerequisites which are mandatorily required for learning EWM. So if you don't have these prerequisites, no issues, but however, you have to put more attention and focus to learn other parts of the SAP instead of EWM. So you have to also focus on other modules as well. So these are all about the EWM process flow. In this, we have seen three type of processes. One is inbound, the second one is outbound, and the third is internal warehouse. So you can see internal warehouse is basically represented with yellow color. Outbound processes are represented with green color, and inbound process is represented with red color. So here you can see the red color, which is basically inbound, and the green color, you can see the outbound, and internal activities, you can see this yellow color, which I have already mentioned here. So you can see inbound activities, internal and outbound. So what kind of activities I can do in inbound? A list is been given here. We have already discussed this. And here also you can see different activities which can be done as part of internal and outbound also. So this is all about a pictorial representation of the warehouse. Now let us proceed with the other slide. So here we are just concluding the introduction part. So here you can see the knowledge transfer as a mentor-mentee. So here, what are the key takeaways? So we have done with our introduction. So we are going to see the key takeaways. So in the key takeaways, please remember one thing. So whenever you are learning EWM, so there are certain prerequisites. So at least any one module you should be aware of, like MM, SD, LE, TM, PP, QM. If you are not aware of any of the prerequisite modules, yes, you have to put more efforts to learn EWM. And you should also make a note of that. Not only EWM, you have to focus other spaces also to learn the basic processes in EWM. And now let us see the key takeaways. So here you can see ERP. We have learned what is ERP or a company. So how many departments involved in a ERP? That is 16 user departments. In these 16 user departments, you are going to take a training only in warehouse management space. And we have also seen what is the difference between your inventory stock and the EWM managed storage locations or the stocks. So what are the key differences? How to easily do the put away picking, and what are the advantages of EWM managed stocks? All these things we have seen and understood. So the next one is what are warehouse processes we have learned. So these warehouse processes are like your inbound, internal and outbound processes. And finally, before I conclude with the key takeaways, again I am repeating you one more time that any integration part of the EWM, for example, just with EWM, within EWM there are certain activities, but also there are certain integration activities. Like if you want to finish a full end-to-end activity in EWM, so it is a having a dependency or a prerequisite, that is what we call it as a integration with other modules to fulfill any end-to-end process. These integrations are like SD, MM, PP, QM. So these integrations are key for learning this EWM process. So this is all about your SAP EWM. Thanks all. Thanks for attending this session. So going forward, we are going to see the other topics of EWM, such as your org structure and integration. Thanks. Thanks all.